Lamines?
Mayonnaise?
That sauce.
Sounds like mayonnaise. Is Dimon short for something? Because there were more than 2 syllables there.
I think I told you they like add syllables in their slang. They just add just to make it sound cute.
Limones?
Just to make it sound cute.
Yeah, like, that country-
Lamines.
A real chica.
With destination to Puerto Jimenez, Victoria, Sophie, John, Maria Teresa, Erika, Michael, Edmond, Catherine, Rebecca, and Julia. Please approach and gate number 1.
Not us. Why not us?
I don't know. I'll go show them our boarding passes. I mean, you can't argue this. Oh no, look, they're going. Oh no, that's Jimenez. Jimenez. Let me ask them about this flight. All right, we got a little bit. That's good.
See? All because of me. It's all because of me.
Okay, so
This was all part of my plan.
this was all part of your plan? Okay. Because I had a plan. Can you I feel like you need to break it down for what just happened.
Okay, so what had happened was our flight was running late. We were to land at 1:50, and we need to go through customs, get on our new flight by 2:20, which, mind you, the new airport is in a totally different building. You literally have to cross a street to get there.
Well, the thing is you didn't know we had another flight because you've had it with airports. Like last night, you were in the airport for 9 hours.
Don't bring it up.
Yeah, honestly, it's a touchy subject right now, but we didn't even think you were gonna make it. There was at one point, I don't have a flight anymore. It's $1,000 to make it to Houston. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, not only is it that, but now it's also gonna cancel this, this flight's on the line too. Whole time you
so
didn't even
that's-
know.
okay.
And that's why yesterday I was like, that's fine, but we can, today's flight cannot be delayed. It cannot be delayed because.
And then it was, and then you were panicking.
Right, because our flight landed in Costa Rica major airport at 1:30 originally, and this connecting flight, surprise domestic flight to take us to, okay, so where we're going is we're going to a Afro-Caribbean small beach town.
Oh.
And so Costa Rica has 2 sides to it. Of the ocean, it's it's the Pacific side and then the Caribbean. The Pacific side is where all the resorts go. So when I was asking for advice, because I'm talking to everyone, where do you go in Costa Rica? Depending on who you'd ask, you'd get different advice.
Yes, I noticed that with my clients too.
Yes, if you had someone who they like to go to Margaritaville for their, they're like, oh, go to the Pacific. You're gonna have a nice margarita.
Right.
Don't lift a muscle. You talk to
You
someone.
won't experience too much culture shock.
Right. There's no mosquitoes. You're gonna love it. My mom was talking to people at work, and she was like, they said go to the resorts, don't jump in water. I was like, Mom, that
Have
customer.
Taco Bell.
Right. I'm like, Mom, that customer sounds like a goober. They sound like an absolute goober. I choose not to live a resort life. Anyway,
I'll drink to that.
we don't live a resort life.
I'm so glad we're on the same page.
See, here's the thing. With our flight, so with the first flight here, then being delayed, once we're on the flight and the guy's just in passing tells someone else, oh yeah, we're about 20 minutes delayed. You saw the look on my face. I was like, oh no.
You were panicking. I was like, baby, what's 20 minutes? I just got delayed for 9 hours yesterday.
Right. And that's when I was like, all right, I have to tell you, we have another flight. What did you think when I told you we had another flight once we
I was
landed?
just like, okay. I was just like, babe, we'll just get on the next flight. And then you're like, there's no next flight.
There is.
It's this one or nothing.
Right. So yeah. So the thing is in choosing, once I knew I wanted to go to this town, it was you can either get a rental car and drive there for 4 or 5 hours, but it's every time I visit you, we're always driving the whole time. So I'm like, how else can we get there? And then I'm like, there's a very small airport, which by the way, this airport is literally 2 terminals. It's Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, and that's it.
They call everyone by their first name when it's time for them to board.
Yeah, they call you by your weight and your name.
Hey, Kenny boy.
Kenny at 205.
And then they weigh each person individually. It's do they tell anyone they're too fat for these planes?
Yeah. When I stepped on the scale, she was like, I could feel the. She's gonna go home and talk about it at the dinner table, To make this happen, to get here, we had to. Once we found out we were gonna we only had 30 minutes originally to get here, so we had to call the flight attendants on the plane to ask if we could. If we could be the first ones off. And by the way, first ones off, they do a nice call for you, oh, raise your hand, so that people know you to be the first one up. People still get up. Everyone has that get up energy as soon as the plane lands.
But they still let us go.
That's true. I feel like we kind of made it known. We kind of like we didn't make like a ruckus, but it was kind of like, all right, something behind. There's like it's almost if like a bull was like running at you from behind. You can kind of feel something going on.
Yeah, like we got places to be. All right.
Yeah. There was
Even
like
to the first class people, we were like,
right.
Excuse me.
That's true. Everyone got out of the way except the first class people. They kind of like, no, we're first class, and I'm like, you know. But then there was the one lady who was a savior.
But did you get an announcement on the intercom?
Yeah.
No.
So we're at the front of the gate. The lady's like, oh, you're probably fine. What time's your flight depart? I'm like, 2:25. She's like, you know, she was like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. So then we run.
She was like, good luck.
What's crazy is that we had multiple people tell us it's a small airport. It's right there. That hallway off the flight, then to immigration to get into the country, that was like a 5K.
Literally.
That was a 5K.
And they were like,
I'm sorry.
They were like, it's a small airport.
Yeah, no, that hallway was bigger than the whole airport. Like to get to I was like, it's never gonna end because you kept hitting corners. It was like a liminal space.
It was scary.
It's like that was the definition of liminal. You know, liminal space.
I thought we were gonna, yeah, exactly. I thought we were gonna turn a corner and the Grudge was gonna be like crawling on the floor.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for watching Parasite right before on the plane.
So then we cut all of the customs.
So then we get to, that's the thing, we get to immigration, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy, you know, like we're the first ones off the plane, they're gonna be waiting for us right there.
It's a small airport.
It's like 300 to 500 people in line,
Not moving.
waiting for, I'm like, okay, here's the thing, if we would have just wait, like, it would have been game over.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, no.
We would still be there.
So I get out of the immigration line. I'm now walking. They're like, yo, is this guy trying to sneak into the country? The lady's like, hey. And I'm like, you know, I have this look like.
You have your hands up.
I have this look like, hear me out. This is a big thing because we had to cut a lot of lines.
No, you were like, pera vita.
Yeah. That's the thing, is I was practicing my pronunciation on the way here.
Maybe it means like mercy.
It probably has like a note of mercy. You know when you taste like, oh, it has like notes of cinnamon? It has a note of mercy in it. That is I think that our first learning. It has a note of mercy in it. I'm getting that that's the energy I'm getting back.
That's our definition.
Okay. So I had to skip immigration. Oh, and then I'm talking immigrations. I'm like, sir, I have a flight. He's like, I need to know
You're
your
like,
job.
I ain't got time for small talk.
And the immigration to get the country's like, what's your job? I'm like, oh my, I'm in HR.
Well,
you know.
and then you're like, yeah, it's our first trip as a couple. I'm like, Kenny, he doesn't care.
Because he asks why you're here. You know, it's our first, that seemed.
We're on vacation. He doesn't care how we know each other.
Well, I didn't know a vacation was enough. You know, I feel like sometimes they kind of question
He's
you.
like, we're on vacation.
It was like,
It's
look,
our
bro.
first trip as a couple, kind of a big deal.
I was a
And
little
he's just
extra.
like,
I was a little extra telling him it's our first trip as a couple. He seemed a little like you really like, yeah. Yeah, he did, yeah.
he was like, I didn't ask.
Right. I did. We asked why you're here. That's a very broad question. Anyway, okay. So I cut that line and I dip. I leave you in immigration. I'm like, I hope you get through. You know, maybe they're like, you know, because you give
Yeah,
that
you
like,
just left me.
because you give that like, let me see your ID again type energy. You know, it's like, man, are you on the run? You know, especially.
Well, I got through.
Did you have your arms out like that too?
And flex.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was like, it's a 50% chance.
why am I here? Don't worry about it.
Right. It's like, okay, you're a fugitive. You know, you give fugitive energy. Like,
Oh, but
if they don't know, like until they hear you
how you really
speak.
feel.
No, like only until they hear you. Like, once they hear you speak, they're calmed down. But when you're walking up, you know, the guy's like, you know.
I just pull out nunchucks. I could see it.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I did your nunchucks. Okay. So then, fine, great. Made it past immigration. I'm running the exit. They're like, look, there's an airport next door to the airport. At this point, I have like 15 minutes in my head to get. It's like 15 minutes before the plane leaves. Maybe 20. I think it was like 20 minutes before the plane leaves. So I'm sprinting, and then there's another like line where like security has to check your bags. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And there's, you know, it's a whole ruckus. Everyone, you know, I'm like, excuse me. Because here's the thing. I feel like from trying to get rail at shows, also trying to like, I've had to get in front of lines before. Like,
It's worth just being assertive. And if people get mad at you, like, yeah, at least you tried.
yeah, because even when I'm in line and someone else is going, I definitely get that knee-jerk reaction of like, I'm a little salty that you're cutting me. Who do you think you are? However, I can't really attest it because you may have a crazy reason, and I don't want to be that guy. It's like,
My thing was I'd always be like, my friend's up there and she's sick.
And she's sick. That's a guy. I haven't used that one.
She's not okay. I need help.
Yeah, she's sick. That sounds a little suspicious.
Have you guys seen my friend? She's sick.
See, my thing, whenever I would get to the front of lines, is I'd be like, oh, this was my go-to. I'd be like, oh, I was already inside. And I would just hope that the person at the line would didn't really remember. And I had a few times, only a couple, 10% out of one out of every 10 times they'd be like, you weren't inside already. And then I'd be like, oh, shake up with them maybe.
You'd be like, you don't remember me?
I'd be like, look, man, I'm trying to, whatever, yeah. But saying that you've already been inside works a lot. But anyway, but that doesn't work here.
That
We're not
doesn't
going to do a
work in custom.
Yeah, right. And here, I'm like, sir, domestic flight leaves in 20 minutes. Go, 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 go. Don't worry about it. That's what I was going to let it. Don't worry about it. Go, go. And all the people were,
People are so nice here.
So then we're going, we're slipping, we're bobbing and weaving. So then I get out to the airport. You got to dive. When you leave the airport, it's all the people. You want a taxi? Right,
taxi.
Right, taxi. They're getting in my way, kind of.
And you're like,
they're stepping in front, kind of stepping in front of me. Like, taxi? And I'm like, no. I had to not to dodge the taxi people. And, they're trying to make a living. It's like it's survival of the fittest for them. It's like, bro, if I don't get you in my taxi, we're not going to have hot sauce to put on the. They're very adamant about it.
They're in survival.
Okay, so anyway, but I'm sure it's a great, yeah. So anyway, so then I run out. Oh, so then I ask the police. He's like, yeah, just that way. I'm like, domestic airport, all this. He's like, just points. So I go. So then I have to find this domestic airport. You run. And then it's like a street, and then it's just like the world. Then it's just like, and then but then
I
but then
have no idea how you knew where to go. I would have had no idea.
Well, my jiu-jitsu professor has been telling me to be aware of your peripherals at all time. It's a good awareness.
Okay.
And that's good for when you're in the jungle. You can see a sloth curled up in a tree. You got to be aware of everything.
I ain't worried about no sloth, baby.
Okay.
What's this sloth gonna do?
That's true. We do have the speed advantage, but they have claws, I think.
It's the python I'm worried about.
Oh, the python that. Okay.
That part.
So anyway, peripheral, I see a building that just looks like either a community college or a domestic airport. So it's like, I'm gonna go there, And then when you walk up, there's a little plane in front, and the plane I gotta show the plane. Here's the terminal. It's literally, there's only one, two, security's right there. You walk in security, it's either one or two. These are the planes, okay? This is why they had to weigh you. I hope I get that purple plane. But here's the craziest part though, is when I get here, I run to the front of the line, the lady's like, sir, what? Because she was helping a ton of people. And I'm like, domestic flight, 225. She's like, go good in line. And I'm like, okay. So I had to get in line. And I'm like, whatever. So then I had to wait, and then I get to the front of the line and I'm like, bag, you are coming back. I'm trying to get words out as little as necessary to tell them as quick as possible. I'm like, she has bags. I'm like, can you do a flight delay connection, anything? Bags coming. And she's like, oh, when do you think she'll get here? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, let me talk to my manager, see if I can do something. And I'm like, I knew this was time-sensitive information. Lady sent me to the back of the line. I should have been more time-sensitive, but whatever. And then she comes out, so she goes in the back, talk to her manager, and the fate of our trip of making it on this flight, it's in their facial expressions.
You saw it.
Well, I see
and
it.
They see you,
I see them
you're
talking.
giving them a look of despair.
That's literally what happened. They're talking, and the manager's facing me, and she looks at me, and I'm like, trying to convey to her the generational trauma that my family has gone to, and be like, please do not add on to this.
Cue the waterworks.
Yeah, I'm like, ma'am, my fam up until this point, thousands of generations to get me right here. Please do not, be another barrier. And she's like, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, so at this point, I'm at the baggage claim trying to get our bags. Still haven't received our bags. And I call the girl that you're talking to, and she's like, we can only wait 5 more minutes. And I'm like,
so wait, so you got baggage claim people to be like, can you call Sansa Airlines?
Yeah.
Like the airport next door.
I was like, can you guys call my flight and tell them that I'm still waiting on my bags for my connecting flight? Can you have them wait a little bit?
Oh, so waiting for the bags.
I have all the people that baggage claim helping me because I'm like, you guys, I'm waiting on the bags. They're delayed.
Because that's the thing, we have to get the bags, and then we have to run to this new airport and check our bags again.
Yeah. And so I'm like, is there any way that you guys can contact the flight I'm getting on and tell them to wait, because I haven't received my bags from my connecting flight. And they were so helpful. They end up talking to the girl that you were talking to, and she calls me and she's like, I'm sorry, we can only wait 5 minutes. And I'm like devastated. So then I texted and I'm like, all right, maybe we'll have to just take a bus, whatever. Then your girl calls me right back and she goes, I just got miraculous news.
Miraculous news. You said remarkable. Was it
I just got remarkable news.
Remarkable.
The flight is now delayed 25 minutes.
Well,
and
here's
I'm like,
the...
oh, hell yeah. And then right as I'm on the phone with her, the buzzer for the bags goes off.
No, that
like,
buzzer.
We're in. I text you, I'm like, stay where you are, stay where you are.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Well, what's crazy is in between all of that, when she said you have to make it in 5 minutes, or no, when she said like you have 5 minutes, you're not gonna make it, you texted me, and I was like, oh. So I was like waiting for, so I like ran back from the domestic airport back to this airport. You said, baby, we're not gonna make it. So I'm like, oh. So I like run back to like, cause I left my backpack here so I could sprint quickly. I'm like, can I leave my backpack so I can sprint and help you with the bags? Because when she said you have 5 minutes to get here with the bags, I'm expecting there's a possibility that it's like by the second they're about to click close and I'm here with bags. You called me, was like, baby, the lady just talked to me, and I was so shocked that you were somehow in connection. She's like, we're not gonna make it, baby. And then you like hung up, or that's all you said. That's all you said. No, I was like, okay. So I ran back to go collect my backpack because I left it there to run over. So I went back like walk of shame.
So at this point, the woman calls me back and she's like, I just got a discovery that the flight's gonna be 25 minutes delayed. So then.
But you didn't text me that though. So or I didn't see it.
I tried to, but I don't think it was going through.
So it wasn't going through. So I walked back into the airport, like walk of shame, walk into the front, all the people who were just, and I was like, so I walk up to the lady and she's like, oh, come over here with a smile. And I'm like, no. She tries to talk to me. I'm like, no, she already told me we're not making it. I know. And she's like, no, it got delayed. You have 25 minutes. I'm like, what? You said, like, you just talked to her. You just told her no. She's like, I told her. I just talked to her. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah, so then literally right as I was on the phone with her, the buzzer for the bags went off.
And then wow, you know what the same, I was like, let's go. And then like the buzzer's like, brrr, like if you had like 2 cameras.
I was like, hell yeah, I'm sprinting with
Yeah. You know, like people watch sports and they love when like their hockey team scores and it's like, brrr. Ours, like our equivalent is like when the baggage thing. Same feeling. Now I get it. Now I understand why people. Here was the best part. I feel like you learn more about who you're traveling with in moments like this, because what really meant a lot to me, and thank you for doing this, is when you said like, baby, we're not gonna make it, you were telling me, you were like, baby, don't worry, we'll just take the bus. And that was it. And then you like hung up. And that meant a lot, because if you weren't like, you know, like you were like trying to support me, baby, don't worry, we'll just take the bus. Like that was very, like, I really appreciate that. Like, you're like, don't worry, we'll take the bus. That was sick.
I mean, either way, we're gonna get to be together, so who cares?
And that, I feel like it's in these moments where you learn more about the person. And that, so thank you for that. That meant a lot.
But we made it though.
We made it. And as celebrations, they gave us these big boarding passes.
Those are sick. I want to steal them.
Yeah, I would be like, guys, I lost my boarding pass. It's gonna be like sticking out the back of, you know.
I'm not a big person to like take like travel mementos. So, like, that's dope.
I don't.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, I've never get. This is a good feeling. They hand you this. It's like it's a good day.
I want to take like a photo like this.
Profile pic. Yeah, this feels like I won something. It's like I won like a game show. So these are our boarding passes. Limon.
We made it.
We made it. Aggressive planning.
It always works out.
How do you feel about going? Have you been on a plane like? This is a little bit. Have you ever been on a plane like this? How's the vibes on the? Because I feel like a strong gust of wind. That baby's just.
It's not as smooth, but it's nothing compared to the plane we went on skydiving.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that was like.
That has you prepared.
Buddy was barely holding on. Buddy was like, "Y'all ready?" You know, it's like I don't know. I mean, that's the thing when people have been asking me like, "Oh, like what are you doing on the trip?" And I have to give them context. It's like first off, first trip with the girlfriend. So like, you know, but like you have to understand like she's like when I met her like I was like it's an I was like, she's been skydiving like 7 times, you know. So when I had to explain to them like we're not doing resorts, it was like you have to understand like who I'm like who I am and who she is, you know.
Yeah,
like
when I was trying to explain it to people, it was like, they were like, doesn't that give you anxiety, like having him plan the whole trip for you? I was like, no. Like, we could literally pull up and he would be like, we're gonna jump out of a plane, and I'd be like, sick.
Right. That is true. That also is telling like I planned this whole thing. Like I don't even know what you packed for. Like I just like you don't know.
For anything.
Like
I'm just along for the ride.
yeah, you forgot your cape though.
I did forget my cape. Everyone's like, your boyfriend planned the trip. It's like good luck. I was like,
Right.
You're not my boyfriend. I got a pamphlet.
My mom leading up to this trip in all caps, don't drink the water, stay on resorts, no bungee jumping, many laces don't have regulations.
No bungee jumping.
She said don't jump in any water unless you know it's clean and safe. Literally one of the rules of vacations is the more bodies of water you jump into, the better the vacation will be. That's a rule. She said no, don't drink the water. She said call doctor and go to local immediate care and get shots.
Whoa.
I said, Mom, that
We're
customer...
not moving here.
I said, Mom, that customer is a goober. I intentionally choose to not live the stay on resorts type of life. She literally is like, stay on the resort. Don't jump in the water. Go get shots. I know. I'm getting hit with this. So,
Do not cross go. Do not collect $200.
right. It's like, can I please just... That being said, where do we go from here? I'm going to hop on a small...
Talk to strangers.
Right, like don't talk to the locals, like, okay.
Don't have fun, honestly. What were you thinking?
I know. It's like, okay, if I was going to do that, I'd just go to like Florida or something.
Right, like I would just go to Cancun.
Right. So now that you know we're going to an Afro-Caribbean beach town.
That means honestly.
I don't know, I just like saying that word, Afro-Caribbean. I don't know what that means, just a fun word. When I hear that, I think like, I'm thinking like bongos,
What is it? Afro-Caribbean?
Afro-Caribbean. It's an
Okay.
Afro-Caribbean beach town.
Oh my god, my client told me about this.
Really?
And he's from here. He's Costa Rican.
Really?
And he was like, don't go to the resort town, go to this place that you're referring to. So
Really?
he was talking about
Thank you.
it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's
So I will say, as long as you're cool with it, I will like day by day kind of let you know.
okay.
Unless you want to just know it at
The
all.
only thing I do want to know is like,
Because I'm already impressed you didn't let me, I haven't told you anything up until right now. Like this is kind of crazy. So you let me know, like I'm willing to work
no,
with
I'm
you.
excited. The only thing I'm worried about are like my outfits.
Okay.
Like, I need you to tell me like, yo, on Tuesday, save your best outfit. Or like, yo, on Thursday, like, you need to look really good. Or like on other days, if you're like, you don't really need to look good. I just need to know how I need to dress. That's all I care.
Because you want to dress how you want to be addressed. And that's from you. I will give you the credit on that one.
Yeah.
I told my friend Joe that because he was talking about like how I'm not going to get like my strategy to not get attacked by monkeys. And he was like, Kenny, if you wear a suit, the monkeys will take you more seriously. And I'm like, yes, you want to dress how you want to be addressed by the monkeys.
Everybody.
And everyone too. But I'm more concerned about them because I feel like they're going to judge me hardcore when they see me. They're reading my energy right away.
Yeah. So like, I just don't want to show up somewhere and everyone be like, oh, she didn't know she was coming here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, like I'll tell you like for the day. I'll tell you
I
like
have,
agenda for the
I
day.
have like highly rated outfits,
Ah.
and then I have like low rated outfits. So I need you to tell me like, yo, I need like a 10 out of 10 rating.
Is that how you did your packing for this trip? Was
Well,
like,
how I pack in general is I pack essential items that can be mixed and matched.
okay, I actually took that approach this time. I was like, what would Taylor do? I was like, because once you know that, I had a couple things that like only looked good with that shirt. And it's like, no. So now this was a new approach in packing. What I did was I laid out the pants I'm gonna bring, and then I had how many shirts went with those shorts or pants. So I ended up bringing like 2 pairs of swimming trunks and 2 pairs of shorts and 2 pairs of pants. And for each one, it had at least like 2 or 3 shirts for it, and it could be mixed and matched. And so they were for different things as well. You know, I made sure I had variety in the things that I could do, but everything could be used. You know, like one pair of shorts could be used for this or these shirts. So
So what I'm saying is like I only have a few like really dope outfits.
And when you say dope,
Because of the way they fit together, it's like that's the best version of these articles.
yeah, I have specifically like two outfits I can think of that are like the dopest.
Yeah, they can be worn
Buenas
other
tardes,
ways.
pasajeros de SAMSA, con
But they're
destino
not
a
gonna be
Limón.
at
Por
the
favor,
front.
abordar en la puerta número 1.
I think we're ready. Yeah.
SAMSA passenger with destination to Limón.
Okay.
Please
All right.
avoid
Let's
the
go.
gate
That's a
number
wrap.
1.
We made it here.
Do you think I have time?
I think you have time. All right. To Limon we go. Limon. Baby, you should have told me that we wouldn't have went here.